Hello and welcome to Tea and Toast Saturday. Do you know what, Greg? Only feels like a day since we were last on.
It was?
Oh yeah, yesterday with the Weekly Scoop, our new show. If you missed it, go and watch it.
You're plugging shows in before we start?
Yes.
Like it.
On today's show, Greg, we're talking about the Museum of Failure. You're not in it, don't worry.
Damn, I was just about to say that. Not about me, about you. Forget it, roll titles. So, what's this Museum of Failure I told you about earlier?
You may have seen it all over the internet, Greg, because you told me about it, so you probably have. Just in Sweden, there is a Museum of Failure. It contains some of the biggest failures in human history.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little bit about it, Greg.
Tell me a little bit about it, Jason.
On the Museum of Failure's website, it says, the Museum of Failure is a collection of interesting innovation failures. The majority of all innovation projects fail, and the museum showcases these failures to provide visitors a fascinating learning experience.
Yeah.
The collection consists of over 70 failed products and services from around the world. Every item provides unique insight into the risky business of innovation.
Brilliant.
I think what they're basically saying at the museum is...
These are the cock-ups of the world.
Yeah, we're not saying these things are rubbish. What we're doing is we're celebrating that they were rubbish.
They are, yeah.
Because they were rubbish, enabled us to make better things.
But the reason we've picked up on it is because a lot of the stuff was back in the day when we were growing up, wasn't it?
Yes, but some of it wasn't. Some of it was. Shall we talk about a few things, Greg?
Let's.
That were in the Museum of Innovation. Well, let me tell you, the guy who invented this museum is called Samuel West. What if this museum failed? That'd be ironic, wouldn't it? Just a little thought. And he has been obsessed with failures for his whole life. And one of the things...
It's not much of a life, is it?
One of the things that he's got in the museum is a beef lasagna.
Hmm.
You might be asking, what's so interesting about that?
What's such a failure about a beef lasagna? Because we all know beef lasagna is out there.
Well, it was made by Colgate, Greg. Yes, that's right. The people who made toothpaste made a beef lasagna microwave dinner. Now...
So is that the toothpaste you're there then?
No, because that is actually a recreation of the packaging, because they didn't want their lasagna to be featured in the Museum of Failures. So Samuel West, had to create a reconstruction of the packaging for Colgate beef lasagna.
Well, why would a toothpaste company want to do a beef lasagna?
I don't know, Greg. Perhaps they were sat around the board table one day and thought, this toothpaste game isn't for us. We need to find something else. And somebody else went, beef lasagna. And the rest of the board went, that's genius.
That's brilliant.
Beef lasagna. And so they put out Colgate's beef lasagna.
Yeah, I couldn't...
Unsurprisingly, it didn't last very long, Greg.
Yeah, I'm not, honestly, surprised.
Colgate never did produce any other food items.
Just toothpaste.
Which isn't a food item, Greg. You're not supposed to eat it. It's just for brushing your teeth.
They should do Colgate mints, though, shouldn't they?
Not a bad idea, Greg. You should be on the Colgate board of directors. Anyway, next thing in the Museum of Failure is Heinz Easy Squirt Ketchup. Now, if you've got one of the most successful products in the world ever...
Easy Squirt? Is that how they promoted it?
Yes. But if you've got the most successful product in the world ever, tomato ketchup, everybody knows what ketchup is all around the world, don't they? Why would you mess with it?
Why wouldn't you, Jason?
Well, let me tell you, Greg. They brought out the Easy Squirt range, and they made lots of different colours.
Why did they make different colours, though? I don't understand.
Well, the first colour that came out was green, and it was in conjunction with the release of one of the Shrek films.
Oh, right.
Promotional item. And initially, it did very, very well and sold loads, because kids obviously like Shrek, so they wanted the green ketchup. So then... Heinz released more colours, like purple, aqua blue, and they did very well. But by January 2006, The brand was pulled from the supermarket shelves when it lost popularity.
I quite like that idea though, because it just brightens up the table, doesn't it?
Would you like me to tell you what the colours were?
I'm going to squirt purple all over my chips.
Blasting green, funky purple, stellar blue, and passion pink, awesome orange, and totally teal. And it was achieved by stripping the red colour from the traditional ketchup and adding food colourings.
I like it. I think it's a good idea. I like that. Because tomatoes always... It's like a fun thing, isn't it? Tomato ketchup. With the... You don't know? Do you not agree with that?
So you would have no problem squeezing green stuff all over your dinner?
It could be a worse colour than that, couldn't it? Well, it could be poo colour.
Heinz Easy Squirt. It's fun for your food.
Now, we've spoken about this before, Greg, haven't we?
What a total and utter flop this was.
The Nokia N-Gage gaming phone. To be fair...
We've said this, haven't we, before in other episodes. It just did come out at the wrong time.
Just slightly too late, didn't it?
Yeah. A couple of years earlier.
It was an attempt to break into the handheld games market, wasn't it? To get people away from Game Boy and Game Gear and all that kind of stuff.
With a phone.
With a phone attached to it. To be fair, the games were okay. It was full colour. The screen was too small, in my opinion.
So expensive as well. And
it was very expensive. And obviously one of its primary functions was a mobile phone. The N-Gage was introduced in 2004. Oh no, sorry, that was the N-Gage QD.
Oh, you know, that big, successful QD.
Yeah, the N-Gage, the original one, was released in October of 2003. Never really took off. There were games released for it. I can't remember if you had to download them or did they come on little cartridges, Greg.
Could you download them?
I don't know. Gamers increasingly carried both their mobile phones and handheld game consoles together. Nokia spotted an opportunity to combine these devices into one unit. They announced it in 2002 that they would be releasing the N-Gage. I don't know. It also included an MP3 player with real audio and video playback. The launch price was US dollars $299. That's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is
compared to what you were paying for a Game Boy.
Yeah.
However, it is one of those phones that led to us having the phones that we have now. The smartphones.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it would have been a huge hit 3 years earlier.
I mean...
2 years earlier.
You can't say it was a complete failure because, as of August 2007, it was estimated that Nokia had shipped more than 2 million N-Gage game decks. That's not a bad number, is it? 2 million times $300 is... It's a lot of money, that.
It's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
However, it quickly disappeared from shelves, didn't it? And obviously they did try to release an upgraded version that didn't work either.
I was going to say, they're about £10 now, you can get them.
Yeah.
Brand new boxed.
But I don't know if they connect to any servers or anything anymore, because I'm sure the N-Gage servers aren't operational.
No.
And finally, Greg, bringing us right up to date, do you know what that is?
Yeah. I've never quite understood why this was ever brought out, to be honest.
Well, it's the Google Glass, isn't it?
Yeah. Tell me about it, Jess, because I still don't get it.
Well, I don't really know that much about it, Greg. It was a pair of glasses that were probably ahead of their time a little bit, and that's the problem. This little bit here projected a computer screen, a visual display unit, onto the wearer's eye. Now, I have never worn a pair, have you?
No.
Never really seen them in action, but I would imagine that that is very distracting whilst you're, like, driving, say, or even walking. I believe that Google are still developing the glass to try and make it better. However, in its current form, it didn't really take off, did it, Greg?
Well, it's just, I mean, why would you want to do it with there? Why wouldn't you just want to get on your phone in front of you? I mean, it's so much easier just to do. We can all do it now. Look, we've all got all these here. We just do it, and that's it.
I think it's,
why would you need to do it?
I think it's the first step towards us all having implants that we can see the visual display units across our eyes and things like that.
Don't want that.
Like a heads-up display. Skynet, Greg, it's where it all starts. Terminator is going to happen for real. Artificial intelligence. Google Glass is an optical head-mounted display designed in the shape of a pair of eyeglasses. It was developed by Google with a mission of producing a ubiquitous computer.
Sorry?
You heard. Google Glass displayed information in a smartphone-like hands-free format.
You heard.
Whereas communicated with the internet via natural language voice commands. So not only are you wearing that looking stupid, but you had to walk around going, internet, phone, all those kind of voice commands. It began production April 15th, 2013, and for a limited period it was $1,500. I mean, perhaps that might have had something.
Wouldn't you just rather have the new Apple iPhone when it comes out?
Yes, I would.
Well, yeah.
The headset originally received a great deal of criticism and legislative action due to privacy and safety concerns.
Anyway, I think it's a disaster, Jason.
2015, Google announced that they weren't going to be producing it anymore.
I think it's a disaster.
Absolute disaster. And I would like to visit that museum.
Let's do it.
Let's go now.
If he wants to give us free tickets and a flight there, that'd be great.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Classic cartoon time again, Greg. What have you got for us this week?
I've got Inspector Gadget.
What a classic.
Well, we were just talking, wasn't we, Jason, before we just pressed record and aired this this particular part of the episode of Tea and Toast this week. But we were just saying, wasn't we, the films weren't very good, were they?
They weren't very good. They starred Matthew Broderick. I wasn't particularly a fan. I think I probably watched the first one. Didn't watch any of the others.
Well,
How many were there?
2.
And well, I didn't watch the other one.
They brought it back as well, didn't they, recently?
Yeah, Netflix recreated Inspector Gadget in CGI. Why?
CGI.
Why?
Well, the original, Jason.
What does CGI stand for, Greg?
It's ruining old programmes today.
Not computer-generated imagery.
So the original was 1983 to 1986.
Really?
Yes.
As early as that?
Well, we all know the story, don't we?
Tell us, Greg.
But no, I'm not going to read it.
Go on.
No, I'm not going to read it.
Well, just tell us the story then.
He basically is a bit dim-witted.
He's an idiot.
Yeah. I wouldn't have gone that far. He was a bit of a hero of mine when I was younger. Yeah. Oh, you're saying I'm a bit... Anyway, and he had all these gadgets on him, didn't he?
Go, Gadget, Copter.
That was his best one, wasn't it?
That's a good impression, wasn't it? Go, Gadget, Copter.
And basically, he was up against Dr...
Claw.
Yeah.
I'll get you next time, Gadget. Never saw his face.
Never saw his face. And, well, it was really all down to Penny, wasn't it?
It was. Penny and the dog, Brain.
What, Pen?
What, Pen?
Yeah, she did all the work, really, didn't she? And he just went out there and made a disaster and made everything go wrong, really. And there she is.
Obviously, he was always in touch with Chief, who gave him his missions.
I remember that, the car, yeah.
It was a bit Mission Impossible-esque, wasn't it, when he got his missions?
Well, in actual fact, it was a bit Danger Mouse, wasn't it?
It was, I think, influenced by quite a few things, Greg.
I do.
So, yes, that's why Brain, the dog, was called Brains, because he was kind of the brains behind it, along with Penny.
What, Pen?
Gadget always got the credit for it.
There's the hand, you only see.
Yeah.
There's the car, love that car. And there's Brains.
What a classic, Greg. Well done.
Thanks, mate. What have you got? You've gone a bit global, haven't you?
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. I won't sing anymore because we'll get flagged.
I like the way you try and do the R like an American would say it, Berg.
Grew up listening to that.
Yeah, but it's actually Berg to us, isn't it?
Anyway, Greg, I'm talking about DuckTales, which is an American animated television series produced by Walt Disney Television. It premiered on September the 18th, 1987. Probably a bit later than most people think.
Easy, I thought it was a bit earlier than that.
It ended on November the 28th, 1990, with a total of 4 seasons and 100 episodes. There was a feature film that was a spin-off, DuckTales the Movie, Treasures of the Lost Lamp, and that was released in 1990. And all of the voice cast from the series reprised their roles in the film.
Oh, it was just great, wasn't it?
It was great. It had possibly the best theme tune, one of the best theme tunes of 80s cartoons. Scrooge McDuck was fantastic, and he even featured in the Forbes Rich List recently. I think we might have mentioned that before. that a fictional character appeared in the Forbes rich list.
Stupid.
They worked out how much money they thought that he would have. Of course, it featured Huey, Louie and Dewey, his nephews, the famous Disney characters, and it's all built around Donald Duck, isn't it, Greg, basically?
Yeah. Where was the link to that, though?
The link to what?
To Donald Duck.
I don't know.
I mean, was he like a distant relative or something?
Probably.
There's got to be something.
Maybe he showed up in an episode, I'm sure he did. Uncle Donald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's got to be something in there, isn't there?
Anyway, it featured the adventures of Huey, Louie and Dewey and Uncle Scrooge McDuck, and I loved it.
He loved it.
I loved it.
Absolutely
Loved it. Did you like it, Greg?
I did, yeah. I mean, it wasn't one of my favourites, but the game is tremendous.
They did bring out a remastered version of the game, didn't they, for PS3?
Yeah.
But I remember playing the original game on the Nintendo NES.
It was brilliant. The game was fantastic. Proper old school platform level Mario style game. Loved it.
That was DuckTales, and that was classic cartoons. I don't know if it's the orange that's giving me a headache.
Do you think it might be the new beaming light over there?
It might be, yeah. What's now?
Anyway, I'll do a joke.
Oh.
Jason, did you hear about the parachutist who landed on a football pitch during the match?
I did not, Greg, no.
The referee sent him off for dissent.
It's time for a commercial break.
We can't turn back. River Raid target at 039er.
Under control.
Approaching an airspeed 626.
Taking West Canyon.
Good call. Fuel critical, sir.
Choppers at 3 o'clock. Roger, I copy.
Pilots closing, shall I direct, sir? No, he'll decide that. Fuel critical, sir. He knows that.
Sure, he's opting for the East Canyon.
Negative, that's a trap.
River Raid to home sweet home. It's
River Raid, can you make it? River Raid, can you make it? Do you copy?
It's only a game. River Raid for the Atari Video Computer System, designed by Carol Shaw for Activision.
Dad, that man's eating a fork. Now he's eating a plate. Now he's going to have 3 shredded wheat.
Now, don't tell stories.
No, 2's quite enough for me, thank you.
With 100% whole wheat nourishment packed into shredded wheat, who can eat more than 2?
If you'd like to send us anything, please send it to tnt@totgu.com. That's tnt@totgu.com. Finish with that now, Greg. Thanks. Doesn't have to be in capitals, by the way. But send us an email, send us anything you want to send to us, any comments, pictures, things like that. Who knows, you might end up in the show. Just a little reminder that we do have a Patreon page, because a few people asked us if they could buy us a beer or a coffee, and that's how we've set it up. A few people have donated, and we are very appreciative of that, and all the money that goes into the Patreon page will be put back into the show, won't it, Greg? In the meantime, thank you for all your comments. Please like and share our videos, and we'll see you again next time on Tea and Toast.